Gareth, thank you for joining me for this series we're doing on the Derbyshire Pathways. We've already spoken to Darren Smith about the boys' pathway and their very successful summer, but it's been a transformational time for the women and girls pathway. We'll get on to the changes in a moment, but firstly, how would you sum up this summer for the pathway?
Yeah, it's been very successful, really successful actually. So obviously coming from the boys stuff and then going to the girls with John Dyson, it's been fantastic. So it's obviously helped with our summer. The we've been perfect. We've been very blessed with the weather, I think. So a lot of cricket's been played, but it's been great to see. So everything's been really, really good.
And with the introduction of the Derbyshire Falcons women into Tier 2 of the new domestic structure, what changes has that led to on the pathway side of things?
Yeah, I mean, the foundation have done a fantastic job for many years. They kind of supported and led the kind of pathway, and then also with the women. So we've myself and John Dyson have really just carried it on, kept the good work that the foundation have done. And then obviously throughout the winter, we had the contact time for a couple of hours once a week, which was good. And then throughout the summer, was really good here. Tuesday nights, again, the weather was fantastic. So a lot of the time we could use the grass nets, which was, an eye-opener really for a lot of the players because, a lot of the time they're either training indoors or in the past kind of club grounds. So to be training here all the time throughout the winter and summer has been really good and a bonus really. So again, a really good kind of stepping stone, and we just kind of continue that moving forward.
Yeah, and you talk about the way that training has maybe been an eye opener, but it has helped the players to prepare for playing games, and we've seen the pathway be very competitive at all levels. Just talk to me about a little bit of the success of this summer.
Yeah, start from the under 11s. I mean, they don't play as many county matches on the 11 girls, but they do a lot of training sessions and they then have intra matches amongst themselves. So it's competitive amongst their fellow peers, but then towards the end of the summer, they play some county matches against other counties, which is pleasing to see all the hard work that they've done throughout the winter and summer. It then progresses to playing kind of county matches. 13s again, similar to under 11s, kind of intra matches, training, and then they play a few county matches against other fellow counties towards the back end of the summer. Slightly different with 15s and 18s. They are more matches against county opposition, so they play a lot. So obviously the older you get in the age groups on the pathway, you play more fixtures to progress to kind of senior women in the future. So it's been really good, that progression from the under 11s to under 18s.
Yeah, and we have seen players come into the first team as well. Even when you consider the likes of Laura Shaw and Maria Andrews, who have been part of the pathway, they've gone to the Blades, but they've come back on loan. But then you scale it back to people like Gemma Rose and Sophia McCullum, who have been part of the first team while being in the pathway. And what has that experience been like for them?
Yeah, really good, really good. And it kind of reaches down to the pathway. So when they kind of come and play for the under 18s, they've had that experience of playing for the senior women against some really good players in Tier 2, either kind of lone players that you're kind of coming against, and the lone players that they've come against are kind of Tier 1 lone players, so they're really good quality. So for them to gain that experience playing in the kind of senior women, and then coming back to the under 18s has kind of benefited not just their kind of own personal game and things, but also to help the other fellow players in the under 18 squad, and they can kind of get all that experience and knowledge and feed it through to those players to help them for the future.
And when we talk about that pathway from academy into the first team, we have 3 current examples in the England team of Sarah Glenn, Bess Heath and Danny White-Hodge, all players who have spent time in the Derbyshire Pathway system and have developed into England players. It shows there is ambition to playing for Derbyshire, that if playing for this club developing in our system, you can get to the very top of the game.
Very much so, yeah. And the pathway now, there's more kind of opportunity and exposure. So, all the winter stuff that they do, they kind of train here, from November onwards, and it obviously seems a long time in the winter here. But once it comes to April and things like that, they can see all that kind of winter and hard work that they've kind of put in. There's a progression for them. And obviously, if they perform well, train well, and then come to the summer and either take wickets, score runs, etc., there's opportunities for them. And they can see these days with the players you've mentioned, and kind of the ones coming forward, Maria Andrews, good example. If you're consistently performing well, you're going to get seen. So there's, a greater exposure for these players these days.
And when we look towards the winter and then 2026, what are the plans for development? What are the plans for training? And also, are there any changes for next season?
Yeah, so the training will start soon. It'll start November. So we'll do some trials, initially in October, but the kind of winter training will start November, and obviously go to kind of end of March, early April. So the changes will be obviously the under 11s now is going to be with the foundation. With like early engagement, that's what it's going to be. So we're going to start from under 13s. So it'll be under 13s, under 14s. So that's a different age group to kind of mirror what the boys do. There'll be an under 16s and there'll be an under 18s, along with obviously the senior women. So they're the kind of slight changes from last year. We started under 11s last year and kind of had under 11s, under 13s, 15s and 18s. So there is a slight change in the age groups, but that's to obviously kind of mirror the boys' age groups as well. So yeah, from November they'll be starting all the way to kind of end of March and kind of beginning early April. So that'll be all the winter training.
Yeah, and how useful has it been to be able to tap into the foundation and all the years of expertise they've had with the pathway throughout this year?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the biggest thing as well has been Richard Wood. So obviously Richard, along with John Dyson, working at the foundation, and that kind of support that we've had with Richard, with the senior women in particular, it's helped, and they know how the kind of pathway works, and it's kind of been seamless. So yeah, really beneficial.